So coming up tomorrow, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are going to finally be having this rematch in a rematch that I was hoping would happen, but was skeptical probably wouldn't, especially since Fury signed with Top Rank and ESPN, and Wilder, as we know, is basically Al Heyman's bitch. So it was unclear to me whether or not they'd finally get this rematch on, and let's be real, this is one of them fights, one of them rematches that really should have happened right away after the first fight, while it was still sort of riding that high of the excitement and anticipation and whatnot. But what the heck? I mean, the fight's happened again. Who cares? And yeah, it's going to be coming up tomorrow, and I'm very excited about it. I'm excited about it for my own reasons, however. I don't think that it's going to be a great fight. I'm not excited about this fight because of what it represents for boxing or thinking it's going to be like some heavyweight extravaganza. No, I'm excited about this fight for one reason and one reason alone. And that is the fact that one of these guys, I believe, is going to get ironed out. I genuinely believe that that's going to happen this time. Um, if the fight ends up going the distance and it ends up being a crappy, boring, scrappy, ugly mess of a contest like the first fight was, and it ends up being a draw, then it'll just be a complete waste of time as far as I'm concerned. But I don't see that happening this time. I genuinely don't, and it's because I think if that does happen again, it's gonna be like it's gonna raise major red flags for everybody involved. And the reason I think that is because there's just been so much stock put into the historical significance of this fight. And I genuinely do think that it's going to be better this time. I genuinely do think that both guys are going to go for it. I don't think we're going to get the messy, ugly, cagey affair that you got the first time. I think it's going to be better. I don't, like I said, I don't think it's going to be like Hagler Hearns or anything like that. I don't think it's going to be a war. But I do think that it's going to be a fight where both of them are going to be looking to end it within the distance. I genuinely do. And if you guys had seen my prediction videos, I did two basically predictions for this. I'm picking Tyson Fury, I'm picking him to win, and I'm picking him to do so by knockout. I think he's going to stop Deontay Wilder. I do. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Deontay Wilder will give it a go. I think Deontay Wilder will be more aggressive this time than he was in the first fight. I think he probably will have his moments and he will try and pin Fury down and catch him on the ropes and land that right hand, followed with a slappy left hook. Kind of like he did in the 12th round. He figured out in the first fight that as long as he throws that right hand straight rather than swinging it, he's got a chance of doing damage, and he managed to catch Fury. But I think that Fury's wise to it this time. Fury looks in considerably better condition, at least from what I've seen. I'm not talking about weight and stuff like that. I don't really care about weight. I'm talking about how he's looked in training and just his attitude and stuff like that. Because going into the first fight, let's be honest, it was a car crash. I mean, it was a car crash waiting to happen. You knew that he was that he was still recovering from drugs and alcohol abuse and whatnot, and being obese and being sort of a party, what's the word I'm looking for? Going out partying all the time and just not really living the life. But this time, according to him, he's been living the life, and he has no excuses. And just my final thoughts on this fight, really, I just want to reaffirm what I said in my prediction. Like my prediction hasn't really changed ever since this fight was first signed. I've always favoured Tyson Fury for the win. I've always favoured him to win by knockout. I genuinely believe he's going to win by knockout. Like I just envision it happening. It could be a situation of Wilder being stopped on his stool or stopped by the referee, because I think Fury, if he keeps pumping that jab in Wilder's face and moving, he should be able to bust Wilder up, kind of like the way that he could have done in the first fight. It's just the first fight he wasn't committed to throwing punches. Fury was more content to hold and slap in the first fight than he will be this time. But if you look at what somebody like Johan Duhaupas was able to do to Wilder, or even even somebody like Artur Spilka, neither one of those guys have anywhere near the kind of dexterity and fighting skills that Tyson Fury has, as well as Tyson Fury being considerably bigger than both of those guys. And looking at him and Wilder next to each other, just at the press conferences and whatnot, and just seeing them standing toe to toe, it's very clear to me that Fury is not only the bigger guy, but he looks physically stronger and physically more imposing. And I think that this time there's going to be instances in this fight where Wilder will miss a shot, and rather than punch back, Fury will just jump on the inside and smother him. Because Fury's a very dirty fighter. Likes to get inside, likes to push, likes to hold, likes to lean, likes to hit you behind the head, likes to hit you on breaks. Very, very dirty and very sneaky fighter. Very exploitative and very cunning with his illegal tactics. Fury kind of reminds me of like an Andre Ward or a Bernard Hopkins. He's very similar to those guys in terms of his sort of cerebral approach to boxing. Like whatever he can get away with, illegal tactics, he'll use them. And referees never warn him. That's one thing that I've noticed about Fury. For whatever reason, he's one of the only fighters in boxing who can literally hit you with the back of his hand, and referees don't even mention it. He can jump on your back and hit you 3 times behind the head. Referees don't even care. So yeah, if I mean you see the first fight, just watch the first fight again. Jack Reese never warned Tyson Fury once for holding, not even a single time, despite the fact he was doing it non-stop the whole fight. So I think Fury, if he can get inside, push Wilder around a bit, do all that dirty, holding shit on that he does inside, but actually throw some punches, because Fury can shorten his punches inside. If you look at like when he fought Derek Chisora, for example, in both fights, that there was instances where he got inside and shortened his punches and worked the body a bit and threw some hooks and uppercuts. So I think he could be out jabbing Wilder on the outside. And then when Wilder gets emotional and throws like one of them big swinging like windmilling hooks that misses that you can see a mile away, I think Fury will be able to counter it by jumping inside and really getting up on Wilder and getting in his grill and annoying him. And I think that this is going to be a horrible night for Deontay Wilder. Obviously, look, I know that there's going to be. This is the thing with boxing channels on YouTube, man. I know that there's going to be a lot of hindsight warriors, hindsight geniuses who, whatever happens in the fight, one way or the other, they're going to come and say, "Huh, you don't know shit about boxing." Like, say Wilder catches Fury. Say he lands a right hand and knocks Fury out, which is possible because Wilder has that type of concussive power. He can knock you out with one power punch. Okay, he can, as long as he lands it at the right moment and, with the right force. Say if he does that, he lands a lucky punch. I know you're going to get hindsight geniuses, hindsight prophet geniuses in the comments that are going to say, "You don't know shit about the boxing. You said that Fury was going to win." It'll be these bot accounts that you've never seen before, and you go on their channels and they've got no content, and you ask them, "Well, where's your prediction?" And oh, they don't make predictions. See these people, they make predictions after the fight, like after the fight's already happened, and then they go to the channels who said it would go the other way and say, "Ha, you don't know shit about boxing. I'm such a genius. This, that, and the other." I've saved you the effort. So if Wilder gets lucky and lands a right hand, which is possible, and ends up knocking Tyson Fury out, um, yeah, it's totally a possibility, and I'm sure that the hindsight prophets and geniuses are gonna pull me up on that one. I'm certainly prepared for it, but assuming this fight goes how I think it's gonna go, where I think Wilder's going to be looking for the knockout, and I think he's going to be looking for it so much to the point where he ends up throwing himself off balance and overexerting himself. I think that Tyson Fury, being that he's the bigger man, the physically stronger man, has the better footwork. Quick. I don't know if I'd say quicker hands, but he definitely has quicker combinations. Like Wilder probably throws like with power a lot quicker, but when Fury throws just as a nuisance, like as a deterrent, his quick combination shots are a lot quicker than Wilder. Particularly on the inside, he is a lot quicker than Wilder. Fury also has he has good enough stamina to go 12 rounds when he's out of shape, and he's going to be in very good shape. So he's going to have the stamina to go 12 rounds. I think that he's gonna bust Deontay Wilder up. Like I said, from the outside, he's gonna move around. He's gonna switch his stance here and there. Although I do think he's gonna be more successful from an orthodox stance than he is from a southpaw stance. Because Wilder, would try and line him up for the right hand if he was a southpaw. As an orthodox, he'll be able to sort of keep his right hand up and just keep pumping the left jab, and then when Wilder doesn't expect it, drop a little straight right hand on him. Wilder is so open for that straight right hand, because when Wilder throws his left, like, he's got no guard there. Like, Wilder really doesn't have a guard. He really doesn't block punches. And in the first fight, one of the things that frustrated me watching it was Fury would be outboxing Wilder at a time, and Wilder would be throwing swings, but Fury would be too scared to throw back. Like, it was like, you remember Freddie Roach in the corner was saying Fury should have got the knockout because he should have let his hands go, but it's like he didn't have the confidence to let his hands go, and that's what I pointed out in my two post-fight reviews I did for it, was that Fury was fighting like a bitch. He really was. He just wasn't committing to anything, being a bitch in the ring, just running and holding and fouling and spoiling. So I don't want to see another repeat performance like that, and I don't think we will, because Fury seems a lot more hyped up and a lot more motivated this time, than he did the first fight. So look, my opinion hasn't really changed, and I'm still picking Fury. I'm still picking Fury by knockout, and I think he will win this fight, and I think he'll win this fight well. I really do. So if I'm wrong, look, if Wilder lands a lucky punch, I can't see Wilder winning on points. If he does, then I don't know what to say. But if Wilder lands a lucky punch, it can happen. Okay, it happens in boxing. When you've got the type of power Deontay Wilder does, you can always land a lucky punch. All right, so that's going to be a possibility. It's not an inevitability, but it's a possibility. So still picking Fury by knockout. But I think that he's gonna just have to be careful, man. Just watch for that right hand, because our right hand's dangerous, really is. So just watch for it, and you should win. And the Fury fans should be happy. They'll be able to give it the big one afterwards and talk about how he's the Gypsy King, and no man born from his mother can lay a glove on him, let alone beat him. They can give it all that talk afterwards, and they can continue to disrespect everybody else in boxing, and he, he can continue to call everyone else a shithouse and a bum and all that when he wins. That should be what happens. So yeah, let me know what you guys think anyway. I'm picking Fury by knockout still. This is my final prediction, and I know I'm basically just rehashing what I've already said, but that's how I see it. So enjoy the fight. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. God bless.